In the winter of 1950, the Korean War appeared to be nearing its end. American commanders were confident that the North Korean army had been defeated and that China would not intervene in the conflict. That confidence, however, would prove to be a fatal mistake, and United Nations forces pushed north toward the Yalu River. They did so unaware that they were walking into a massive trap hidden in the frozen mountains surrounding the Chosin Reservoir. By late November, more than 300,000 Chinese troops had secretly crossed the border and moved into position surrounding the U.S. 10th Corps and outnumbering American forces 2-1. The environment itself was as deadly as the enemy. Temperatures plunged to -28 degrees Celsius, or -18 degrees Fahrenheit. The ground froze so solid that Marines from Fox Company could barely dig foxholes to protect themselves from the bitter wind and incoming fire. Lacking tanks and heavy artillery, Chinese forces used the terrain and the weather to their advantage. To avoid American air power, they attacked only at night, wearing white camouflage that allowed them to disappear into the snow. For the American defenders, the terror often began before the fighting itself. In the darkness, the silence of the mountains was broken by whistles, trumpets, and cymbals, echoing through the valleys moments before waves of Chinese soldiers surged into their positions. As the battle intensified, Chinese troops blocked the narrow dirt roads that served as the only supply routes through the mountains. Isolated units were quickly cut off. Task Force 31 was nearly destroyed, suffering more than 1,000 casualties and leaving the survivors with no choice but to fight their way south. The retreat was brutal. In areas later known as Hellfire Valley, Chinese forces positioned on the high ground poured mortar fire onto the retreating columns below. Trucks were destroyed and wounded soldiers were killed as they lay trapped inside burning vehicles. The escape reached its most desperate moment at Funchilin Pass. There, the Chinese 60th Division destroyed the concrete bridge, spanning a deep chasm, leaving thousands of troops and nearly 1,000 vehicles trapped with no way across. General Oliver Smith refused to abandon his wounded men or his equipment. Instead, he ordered an extraordinary solution. U.S. Air Force cargo planes flew over the pass and dropped prefabricated bridge sections by parachute into the freezing storm below. Although the sections arrived intact, the engineers faced another challenge. They needed to stabilize the bridge supports, but proper materials were unavailable. In the extreme cold, they used whatever they could find, stacking wood, earth, and even the frozen bodies of fallen soldiers to create a foundation strong enough to hold the bridge. Against all expectations, the structure held. Tanks, trucks, and foot soldiers crossed the chasm and escaped the encirclement at Chosin Reservoir. By December 11th, the survivors reached the port of Hamhung and were evacuated by sea. The battle was over. It was not a victory, nor a defeat, but a fight for survival against overwhelming numbers and the unforgiving cold of a frozen hell.